Hello and welcome back to Mars Horizon as we lead Japan to dominate the space race. Continue the game from where we left off in episode 1. Right then, so yeah, in episode 1 we was the first to put the artificial satellite into space. So, satellite in orbit. With your satellite safely in orbit, you've achieved a major milestone for your agency and opened the door to launching more complex payloads, perhaps even those that could carry humans into space. Right, now we can go on to mission training. For such formidable challenge, it's critical your mission staff receive right training. This can be a great benefit to the mission, increasing the key stats such as payload reliability or missions science reward. Training building required. Construct the appropriate buildings in your base will unlock new avenues of training. Research the lab, rocket test pad and spacecraft assembly facility. Each unlock a certain type of training. Choose one of these to research and build. Right, so mission objectives: build a rocket test pad, a spacecraft assembly facility, or a research lab. Build mission control and complete a quest mission. So, research. We are currently researching the Eden project to complete the animals in space. And then we need to start looking at researching the research lab, the rocket test pad, the spacecraft assembly facility. And then once we've got 2 of these done, we can move down to these 3, which is where mission control will be. So, looking at our base still, there's nothing I think we can build. Nope, everything's locked out because everything's just got a build limit of 1. And the only thing that's next to come up is a fund review. So let's look at, the next thing we can do is animals in space, which we'll have to wait until we've got the Eden researched, and we not need looking at these additional boosters and upper stage parts for our rocket. So in the meantime, we'll look at some request missions. So request missions. Request missions are a great way to supplement your agency's resources, especially as they don't require any further research, just a free mission slot. Each request mission is only available for a set amount of time, and unlike milestone missions, can only be completed be attempted once. The more milestones you complete, the more request missions will become available. Right, so the test launch high altitude photography. Launch a sounding rocket equipped with a 35mm camera to capture images of the curvature of Earth from high altitude. We've got 1 month to complete, so we don't need any more research for this one. So let's start planning the mission and select a rocket. And as it's just a sounding rocket, that's all that needs to be done. We'll keep the name as Tadami. Probably butcher again, but it's fine. Confirm. And yeah, reliability is low, but the more of these rockets that we send up, the more reliable they will become because we get more data. So let's build the rocket for 80,000, and that'll be ready in January of 1958. Right, let's go to next month. Fears over artificial satellite. Following your agency launching the first artificial satellite, several foreign newspapers have claimed the satellite represented a global security threat. ESA have requested that your agency releases the full specification of your Osumi payload to prove its scientific purpose and quell public anxiety. Your advisors believe agreeing to the request will improve your reputation with ESA, though the latter will likely gain science from it. Yeah, so if we share the information, the specification, we're giving the ESA some additional science, but if we reject it, we will lose reputation with them. Well, I think I'm going to go with the attitude of sharing these specifications because space is for everyone and it should be a joint venture. So let's share the specification. Satellite specification shared. Your agency has released the full specifications of the Osumi satellite, demonstrating its scientific instrumentation. The release has helped alleviate global fears about your agency's intentions and has been greatly received by the ESA. So we gained 25 reputation with ESA, but ESA gained science. Nice to know how much science they gained from that, but okay. So diplomacy, let's have a look at this one then, now that it's been brought to our attention. Alright, diplomacy screen. On the diplomacy screen you'll be able to see the relationship with each of the other space agencies. Depending on your relationship, your reputation, not relationship, with an agency, your relationship can range from allied to antagonist. Reputation can be earned and lost through joint missions and certain events. Okay. Agency relationships. Each type of relationship, apart from neutral, grants bonuses to your agency. Friendly and allied relationships boost science income and increase other agencies' joint mission contributions. Competing and antagonist relationship boosts funds income and reduce the other agency's joint mission contributions. Yeah, so at the minute, I don't think... yeah, that's China, isn't it? They're not particularly happy with us. But the others seem pretty reasonable with us at the minute. So this tells you your agency bonuses as well as your active diplomacy effects. So we get a plus 2% funds income from that. And our allied contractors reach allied status with an agency to gain access to their contracts. So you've got Red Giants, X-Star Avionics, Okan Orbital, Nova Corporation, Messier Aerospace, Green Moon, and Changsat and Star Satellite Group. So they're the different types of contractors. Okay. So you can go into more information regarding the... so they're currently researching the rocket test pad, animal in space. Here say they're not doing anything of sorts. And China is doing the spacecraft assembly facility. Right, okay. So here's where we can propose joint missions as well once we get... I believe it must be when we get to a higher relationship with them. Okay then. Right, as we're still completing research for Eden and there's nothing else to do. So next month we've got a budget review in 1958. Looks like it went up twice. Now we're getting 102k per month. So agency performance over the last 12 months has been reviewed and your budget has been adjusted accordingly. So we've got plus 388 support, which meant we went up to level 3. So our current tier is 102k per month. And we've completed the Eden research. And the sounding rocket is ready for the high altitude photography. And no effect. So our engineers have reported that the launch vehicle structure is completed without any notable issues. So let's do launch preparations. Again, there's no crew, so we can't, and there's no training. So let's select a launch date. We'll try February. If not, we might have to move it to June time to ensure that we don't, so we get a good launch. So we'll select that mission of February 1958 and confirm. So we'll launch in February of 1958. Right, new milestone challenge. Your first milestone challenge is now available. These are optional goals for your agency and that involve completing certain milestones in return for substantial rewards. Viewing the milestone challenges. To view the current milestone challenge, select Earth or any other planetary body to access the mission select screen. Okay. Current challenge. Your current mission challenge can be found here along with the required objective and reward on offer. The time remaining for the current challenge can be seen on its tooltip, activated by moving your cursor over the challenge. New challenge. A new milestone challenge will become available whenever you complete or fail the previous challenge. Note that there is no penalty for failing a milestone challenge. Okay, so milestones challenge. Got complete 3 milestones and we'll get the minus 25% build and research cost for 6 months. Okay, and it will expire in 118 months. Okay then, so we can now do research. So we've now finished the Eden project. We now need to start looking at one of these 3. So let's do the rocket test. A rocket test pad will allow further and more rigorous vehicle engine tests, resulting in more reliable launches. So, pretty good idea to get the rocket into space before we can do anything else. I think that's everything, so let's move on to the next month. Radiation belt discovered. Data from your recent artificial satellite mission has confirmed that belts of trapped radiation surround Earth, shielding the planet from the sun's cosmic rays. So we gained additional science. And we've completed the rocket test pad. And we can now start launching the high altitude rocket for photography. So let's launch the mission. Have we got a good launch window? Looks like it's night time. Launch day, Tadama. February 1958. So we've got good conditions, so we've got pretty much 50-50 chance that it'll go well. Yeah, we'll take it. Continue. And we have launch. Was it veering off or was it going straight? Oh, no. And there's an explosion. Wow. 2% in-flight engine failure, critical failure, which is vehicle is destroyed. Okay, that's not very good. But we gained a bit more efficiency, so let's continue. So, mission failed. But, on that note, we did just unlock the rocket test pad, which will allow further and more rigorous vehicle engine tests, resulting in more reliable launches. So this will help a lot with stopping that issue from happening again. So if we place the vehicle here, we'll get plus 1% launch reliability and plus a minus 3% vehicle build cost, which is nice. Down here it's just the reliability, nothing over here. But that's going to cost 125k, 175, 200. Yep, so I think that's going to be the best place for the effects and the cost. So we'll put that there for the rocket test pad. And let's go back to research and get a research lab. So this technological hub of space science, the research lab can greatly improve scientific yields from missions. Yeah, so we'll get into Era 2 eventually. But let's just stick with Era 1. Right, so Earth has now got, what's this now saying to us? Request mission types. Request missions often have special modifiers that make aspects of the mission more challenging, as well as increasing the potential rewards. Consider these carefully before choosing your request mission to attempt. Okay, so that one's quite challenging, but -1 turn in each task, and it's 25% all rewards for mission success. The isonic sphere measurements. Okay, but we can now do the animals in space. So, animal in space. Launching an animal into space provides critical testing of life support systems without risking astronauts. They can also be sent in smaller craft and don't necessarily need to be brought back to Earth. So we need suggested parts, yes, so we still need to start looking at the increased booster and upper stage research. So probably still continue going down this path and getting the mission control, and then we'll start looking at going across here for the Jupiter. But there's no reason why we can't start planning, but it might be worth maybe going for a wind monitoring, launch a base satellite to monitor the effects of solar wind upon Earth's magnetic sphere, just for a short term. So mission phases, every mission is split into phases. Missions with multiple phases can take place over a period of months or even years. Okay, sounds interesting. But I think we've got a bit of research to do before we can get onto the stage, and we may as well get some support while we're waiting. So let's get the payload built. So we've got standard, comms, prototype and power still. So let's stick with just a standard one. And we only need to achieve 2 comms and 1 data, I believe it was. Okay, yeah, we'll stick with that payload and it will cost us 100k to build. So let's get that built and be ready in April. Yep, so next month we move on. Rocket science. After analysing data from your recently failed test launch, researchers have identified several improvements that can be made to your booster technology. Sometimes we learn more when the thing blows up. The particular enthusiastic engineer commented. I suppose that's true to a certain degree. Okay, right, we've completed the research lab. So let's go back down here and get the mission control building done. Mission control is responsible for the critical phase of a mission after launch, monitoring and issuing commands to a spacecraft. This will unlock one additional mission slot. That's good, so we can start doing additional missions, do 2 missions at once. So yeah, that should take a couple of months to go. Let's look at the base. So we can now look at the research lab for 100k. So if we went here, yeah, we minus 2% vehicle build cost, but minus 10% science per month, so that's not the best. We've got minus 3% payload build cost and minus 2% vehicle build cost. That sounds pretty good. So that's the payload, and that will give us minus 10. So yeah, this one seems the best, but if we rotate it, that should be good there. It's only going to cost 100k. That should build that there then. Hopefully that should leave enough to be able to build a rocket to complete that. Complete the next mission. So move to the next month. Yep, so the wind monitoring payload has been completed. Right then, so streamlining the payload design has decreased the demands on the vehicle's structural stability. Yet so far the mission has failed to capture the public's attention. So we've got 25% vehicle build cost deduction and a minus 25% support reward. Okay, let's move on to the design vehicle. Let's get a rocket ready to go. So we'll do a new design. So the upper rocket will be the original one that we've always been using, as well as the booster for that as well, which again achieves all the minimum criteria for what we need to achieve for this mission. And we may as well save the design, so we'll save it as the user guy. Save that and confirm the build. Still, the reliability is relatively low, so we could do with getting this updated as soon as we can do, but let's build that and continue. So research, we'll get that completed next month, and then from there we'll start needing to looking at which booster and which upper stage part we're going to use. So looking at this now, the Argyle has 1000 capacity and 65% reliability and an increase of 5% per launch, 62k. The Jupiter has got a bit more capacity, an extra 200 kilograms, and the reliability is a lot higher, but it does cost more. So I'm tempted to go for the Argyle this side, just because, yeah, 65% launch reliability compared to 75, but every time we launch it, 2 launches and we're already back up to the same launch reliability as the Jupiter. But this one will probably only get to about 80. This one will go a lot higher. Yeah, so we'll go with the Argyle, and then we'll go for, right, do we go for the Able, the Jupiter, or the Scout? Well, the Scout's only Earth orbit, where these two are both Moon, so this is, and these two, that's not part of it, so yeah, the upper stage both can go to the Moon, so I think it's between these two. So the capacity is 500 to 350 kilograms, 75% launch reliability compared to 65. Jupiter's cheaper, not particularly by too much. Was it 24k or something? This Able's got a lower mass, which means the booster won't need to carry as much. They're both building at the same time, but I'm tempted to go for the Able because of the launch reliability. Yeah, that seems more appropriate, because at least that one, it's only going to go up to 70% at most, where this one will go, which is already higher than that one. Yeah, so I think we'll go for the Argyle and the Able as and when we get around to the research, but in the meantime, I think we'll have to just move on. Got one more month to go and we'll have the rocket test pack complete, which is the first part of the mission. So that's now completed. Alright, mission control. With training option now available for your missions, it's time to focus on another vital aspect of growing your agency, building a control mission. The mission control build unlocks an additional mission slot, allowing you to conduct 2 missions at the same time, a great way to increase your science and support income. Note that you may need to research another training facility training building first. It's recommended to unlock all the training options eventually. Okay, So looking at this, we've got 1 more month to go on the mission control. Then we'd need to get onto these 2 vehicles, two parts of the booster and the upper stage, so we can move on with the next mission. Okay, 1 more month and we'll be able to start looking at the next launch. Race to space. The prospect of launching the first human into space is dominating the newspapers. Most have labelled it an impossible endeavour, whilst less sceptical outlets claim a rival agency are bound to get there first. Several have contacted your agency for a statement. So will we declare you will win the race or decline to enter the race? No. We will get the first human into space, so we will win the race. So if accepted the challenge, you've replied that it's not only possible but inevitable that a human will reach space, and what's more, your agency will be the first to achieve it. Your statement has resulted in a surge of public support, yet detractors maintain that your agency is setting itself up for a fall. So we gain 100 support, and we have completed the research lab, and the mission control research has been completed. Yeah, a lot going on now. Right, the solar wind monitoring vehicle is ready to go, and the engineers report there's no effects. So let's go to launch preparation. Okay, so mission training. Training is a critical part of the mission plan and allows your staff to crew to focus on particular aspects of the mission in the months before launch date. The type of training chosen can greatly benefit areas such as launch reliability or the amount of science gained from a mission. Okay, so what can we do? Training focus. Available training options for this mission can be selected here. To unlock more training options, construct the appropriate builds in your base. Training bonus. Each training option will focus on a specific aspect of the mission. For example, payload reliability training will increase payload reliability. The total of bonus granted by each training option is dependent on the number of months until the launch date. Okay, so choose a training program to improve the mission performance. The more time allocated to training, the greater the benefit to the mission. So this one's science training. So your scientists will focus on optimizing the payload's instrumentation and software, increasing the data collection capabilities. This training will increase the sign reward. So the base science reward is 500. Training will increase that by 5% up to a maximum of 25. So the launch reliability training, the vehicle will undergo a rigorous set of propulsion and altitude testing, allowing your engineers to improve its launch stability. This training will increase the launch reliability. So the base launch reliability is 41% and the training bonus is 3%. Max training bonus is 15%. I think we need to focus on the training of reliability. Okay, so mission training. Your current training and its bonus can be viewed here. The bonus is determined by the number of months between the current date and the selected launch date. Choosing a later launch date can greatly increase your training bonus, yet may give other agencies the chance to complete milestone missions before you. Okay, so we have to be very careful that we don't go overboard without issues. I think if we go for September, get an extra 9%, that'll be, at least it'll be definitely good, 50% reliability for launch. So we'll select that date and confirm the mission for September of 1958. Right, so let's go to the vehicles and let's get the goal researched, and then we'll go for the Able. Okay, let's go back. Base. We can now look at building mission control. Need to be careful because we might not have enough money to do what we need to do, so going to be quite tight. So if we put the mission control here, we get a minus 2% payload build cost. Up here we've got plus 1% launch reliability. Over here it'll be minus 1% launch reliability. We rotate it. That doesn't do much good for us either. What about across both of these two? That will do us quite well, is plus 1% launch reliability, minus 2% payload construction, but it's going to cost a lot of money. So that would be 275 compared to 750, 450, yeah, 275. So this one does seem, yeah, place the building there. Use the cheaper option and the best for the bonuses. Okay, now that's underway, we can now go to the next month. Right, ESA have finally completed the test launch. NASA failed to do the artificial satellites. ESA is going to launch in 9 months for their artificial satellite. And I think everyone else is still waiting by the looks of it. Okay, so research is underway. That should be completed next month then. And then we can move on. Right, next mission. Right, that's our guard researched. We now need to research Able to get the upper stage underway. And nothing new to report for the companies. Got one more month to go and then we can do our solar wind monitoring. So, mission control. So it looks like we've got 50% launch reliability and the payload is 65%. Let's go to launch mission. And what's the weather looking like today? Looks like a clear day. The launch day for Yuzakai. And that's September 1958. Yep, so we've got good conditions, so that's another 6%. So we're at 56%, so let's go. Fingers crossed it doesn't explode this time. Looking good. Now where did we get? Oh no. Critical delay. -1 turn on the first task in mission. Okay, let's continue. Right, so we've got level 2 now on both of them. Continue. Alright, solar wind monitoring. Let's see how this one's going to go. So I need to collect 2 comms and 1 data. Okay. We've got 3 turns to complete this in with 4 power. So we need 4 and 2 preferably to get the bonus. So if we turn... Actually, probably best to concentrate on the comms first. So we'll do a visual data collection to give us 1 energy into 1 comms, and then turn that into a data transmission with power and comms. That should be appropriate. It still leaves us 2 energy for any issues that crop up. So confirm the command. That's positive. So visual data collection was complete. Accept. Now let's do the data transmission, which looks very good. Right, control breakthrough. A member of the mission control team came up with a software update that increased data collection. This command will generate an additional 1 data. Brilliant. Accept that nicely. Okay, so we need 1 of each. So, tempted to play it slow and do a recharge and a signal return test. So, confirm. Okay, that's fine, that's successful. So the signal return test was completed, giving us our comm that we need for the bonus. Now we just need 1 more visual data, and again we'll just do a recharge to ensure we've got enough power if anything goes wrong. So let's confirm the commands. Again, yep, that's fine. That's done what we need to do, so visual data was successfully completed. We'll accept that, and that gives us the bonus reward completed. So we can now do some solar wind monitoring. And mission complete. Giving us an additional 168 support and 375 science for 2 months. Continue. And we've completed an objective up here. Looking at this now, we have, so ESA completed their test launch. NASA is going to launch an artificial satellite in 8 months. And we completed the solar wind. Okay, so looking at research, we've got 1 more month to go for able, so we can start looking, and we've got one more month for mission control, which means we'll be able to do 2 missions at once. Quick question, the moon. What's happened with the moon? So we can do a lunar orbit once we get the research done, and there's no missions for that just yet. And for the Earth, we have some quest missions, but I think we should start looking at doing animals in space. Hopefully we should have enough funds to complete this. So let's start planning the mission to send an animal into space. Okay, so we've got standard again, prototype, comms and power. Seems to be set standard configuration modules. I think we need to stick with standard just for reliability and also cost. So the task when we get into orbit is 1 comms and 3 data. Nothing too major. So let's select the payload and build. There we go. So Eden should be ready in November of 1958. With nothing else to do, we'll go to the next month, and mission control is now ready to go. And the able research is complete as well. Right, tutorial complete. Congratulations on completing all of the tutorial objectives. Your agency has demonstrated the technological expertise and opened countless minds to the possibility of space travel. From here on out, the direction of the agency is down to you. You will focus on pushing the boundaries of human exploration or probing the far reaches of the solar system. To the new frontiers. Remember to balance your research efforts across all 3 research trees and to use spare mission slots to conduct request missions to bolster your resources. Above all, explore, experiment and inspire. Good luck, Director. Right, we're now on our own. It looks like maybe, is it China? Yep, China has completely launched their first artificial satellite. Right, so looking at the research, we've now researched these 2. So, building wise, I think we should look at getting the spacecraft assembly facility. The spacecraft assembly facility provides a clean room environment to aid the development of complex mission payloads. We'll get that built, researched and then built, and then maybe start looking down the lunar orbit. Because the next one, possibly, well, satellite imagery and human in space. Which, human in space is actually, we could go onto that next if we wanted to. Or satellite imagery, maybe onto satellite imagery. Either one of them, so that would give us 250 support and 90 science, compared to 400 and 1800. Yeah. Either or seems a good option to go with. So we're now just waiting for Eden to be complete, so let's move to the next mission. The spacecraft assembly facility has now been researched. And the payload has been constructed. And the engineers, so the key performance improvements were made during payload assembly, yet our engineers predict reduced compatibility with the launch vehicle. It's not very good, so we've got plus 10% payload reliability, but we'll reduce 10% reduced launch reliability. Okay, so the next design. Right, so let's look at a new design for this rocket. So the upper stage, we can now use the able. Okay, select that part, and then the booster, the agal. So able is not able to do it because we need the 500 kilograms, which would be the Jupiter then. But then the Jupiter, oh, so it looks like I made a mistake here. So the Jupiter then would need the Jupiter thrust booster as well, so I might have to need to get that researched. So cancel. So select the Jupiter and select the Jupiter. So yep, upstage Jupiter and the booster is Jupiter. So we need to research this. That will give us everything that we need here for that payload. So we'll confirm that. Unfortunately, we can't build it just yet because we need to do the research. One or more of the parts used in the vehicle need to be researched in order for the construction to start. You can select this button to navigate to the vehicle research tree where the required research node will be highlighted. Okay, it's fine. We'll just go back and go to research. Because at the minute we are, I think we finished that research, so. Okay, so required vehicle parts, unresearched vehicle parts that are used in your vehicle designs for missions will be highlighted with this icon. Researching these parts will allow you to start construction of the related vehicles, so it's a good idea to prioritize these technologies. Yep, that's fine. So we'll get the Jupiter upper stage and then we'll get the booster. It should only take us 2 months each, I think. Active mission. Yep, so we just need to wait for them to research and we have an available slot. In the base we should be able to build the spacecraft assembly facility. Okay, so that will increase the unlocks mission train to payload reliability. Right, if we put this here, we will get -3% vehicle build time and -3% payload build cost. So you get the cost there, build time. This one will give us +1 payload reliability and -2% vehicle build time. That one's just too expensive. This one seems pretty reasonable. And a good price to build. 175, 150, 250, yep. Let's go for this one down here for the 3% on vehicle build time and payload build cost. Okay. Right then, we'll move to the next one. We've got some research to complete, so that's Jupiter completed. Back to research and let's do... So, suggested vehicle parts. The suggested vehicle parts filter can be used to view recommended parts for currently active missions. We'll only need to unlock one compatible booster and upper stage combination to create a valid vehicle, but the mission, yet having access to multiple parts when designing vehicles will be beneficial in the long term. Okay, yep, so we'll get the Jupiter done now. And then next month, we'll be able to finish that rocket. So, open skies debate. Global symposium is taking place to establish laws regarding terrestrial space for orbits and satellites. The proposed treaty states that all nations should have free access to space. Your advisors believe supporting the treaty will improve diplomatic relations with other space agencies, though opposing it may prove popular with a section of our media. I actually support this. I think space should be for all nations in the benefit of humanity, so support the treaty. Outer Space Treaty established. With your agency support, a global committee has established a treaty that forbids sovereign claims on space or celestial bodies and assets. That space activity should be for the benefit and in the interest of all countries. The other agencies reacted well to the support, gained 10% reputation with all other agencies. Okay, and we've got another budget review, and we haven't gone up, but we've got very close to tier 4. But we're still getting 102,000 per month. Okay, and we've now got the Jupiter completely finished. So this looks like China is launching Amazon in space in 10 months. Okay, so let's go to activities, and we can now build our rocket, which will be ready in 6 months' time in July of 1959. But with that in mind here, it may look like we may become second in that race, unless China has a failure and it can't put it into orbit. Now with that researched, I think I'm okay with buildings for the minute. I think we'll hold fire for any more boosters at upper stages. Mission wise, we can either go for the lunar orbit or go for satellite imagery. I think we should go for satellite imagery to start with and then move forward for human space. So satellite imagery. Satellite photography provides invaluable data for the study of Earth's weather systems, in addition to environmental monitoring, mapping and even military reconnaissance. So that needs 750 science. That'll take us a couple of months to do. Okay, so next month. So the spacecraft assembly facility is now complete. And looking here, we've got Soviets launched an artificial satellite in 11 months. Okay, so they've got quite a close... So they failed, that's why. So they failed their artificial satellite, they're now giving it another reattempt. Okay then. Right, we've got nothing to do now for the next 5 months, apart from research, so let's just keep going 1 month at a time. Right, International Geophysical Year. The International Geophysical Year, a global initiative to gain more geophysical data on Earth is taking place in 3 years' time. Organisers have requested that your agency launches a satellite to complete the required data. If accepted, your agency will be expected to complete the satellite imagery mission within 3 years of the current date. You will receive 750,000 immediately and another 750k if successful. Right, I've got 3 years to do it. I've just started the research for that now, so I think we should be able to accept this request, and so we will join with that one. So request accepted. You've accepted the request and will be expected to complete the satellite imaging mission within 3 years. Failure to meet the target will result in loss of support, but we gain 750,000 credits or funds, and we've now completed the satellite imagery research. So let's just go back to the moon, back to Earth, and click on satellite imagery. So to complete this, we need to complete the observation satellite and the suggested, and we need to get another booster and upper stage. Okay, nothing too bad. We'll look at that in the next part. But let's move on to the observational satellite. An Earth observation satellite equipped with a variety of sensors to collect planetary data. That's going to take a while to research as well. So let's get started. And we have another mission slot we have an available slot ready to go. So requests, we have high altitude photography, solar wind and the ozonic measurements. It's lucrative. Your advisor will flag this mission as having a direct commercial benefit to the agency. Yes, so it's quite a nice little reward for that mission. So your science request is placed in a satellite in Earth orbit to measure fluctuations in the ionosphere. So we'll plan this mission. We'll go for a standard still, just to keep the cost relatively low. More info. Yeah, so it's just three comms and 1 data, so nothing too bad. So select that payload and we shall build that payload, and it'll be ready in 2 months' time in June of 1959. So next month, and let's look at the past events. So yeah, we got to, so they're doing 11 months' time. So ESA complete the artificial satellite. China's launching animals in space in 6 months, and NASA completed the artificial satellite. And ESA is launching lunar orbit in 13 months' time. So everyone's doing their own thing by the looks of it. So next month. Right then, payload is complete. And there's an engineer's report, no issues. So design vehicle. Right then, so let's do a new design. If we go back, yeah, we've only got that payload, which would actually do it. But let's just see if we can increase the reliability of the launch. So design new, upper stage. But looking at it, I think that one is best because we'll select that part and see what the boosters. So if we set that booster, we'll gain additional 72% compared to 69. But I'm not sure if it's worth the price increase to 170k from 94k. No. So let's load the original design. So load that design, and we shall confirm that for a build. So now we built in 2 months' time. Okay, next month. Payload optimization. Your engineers have managed to optimize a key component of the Eden payload for your upcoming animal in space mission. Increase the payload reliability by 5%. In addition, they've identified a way to increase the payload reliability by a further 10%, though it would require extra funding. Payload is currently at 80. Yes, it's still at 8%, but we have the funds to go up by an additional 10%, so we'll give 90%, so it just means we'll go. Okay, we'll pay for further optimization. So they spend more time optimizing the components of Eden payload. Reliability is now 90%. Fantastic. And there's the glorious rocket. And engineers report no effect, so let's do launch preparation. again, it's uncrewed mission, and we can do training. So we can do additional science training, launch reliability, or payload. Payload is already at 9%, so there's no point increasing that one. Science is actually pretty good already, so let's go for launch reliability. Confirm that and select a launch date. So China's going to do it in October, so I think we should try to do it in September. No, we'll do it next month. Try and get it done, dusted. Confirm mission setup and approved for next month. Right then, so China is launching animal space in 6 months. NASA completed the artificial satellite, and NASA is launching animals in space in 9 months' time. Okay. So research-wise, we've still got a long way to go, but if we get this mission completed, that should give us a nice little bump up in research. Right, next month. Right, so that nice looking rocket again, and engineers reporting no effects. So next notification, and we're launching animals in space. Got an optimal date and 64% launch reliability. Let's launch. Looks like it's clear. Right, so 64% launch reliability with good conditions, of additional 8%. I think that's a good sign. 72%. Let's go. Fingers crossed. Oh no. Is that okay? Bit of fire which went off. No, it's gone up. How well did it go though? Very well. 77%. Okay, so no more mission effects, so continue. And both of them two got a level up. Okay, continue. Now, animal in space in August of 1959. Okay, so we need to collect 1 comms and 3 data. The bonus is 2 comms and 6 data. Right, we've got 4 turns and 5 energy. So let's go for the data first. So let's generate a signal return test to give us a comms, and then use power and comms to generate 3. Was it data? Yep. So we've got data. So let's confirm that we've got energy left over if anything goes wrong. Let's go. Very close to getting an additional bonus, but no. So signal return test was completed successfully. So they've given us our comms. Now let's generate sampling. There we go. That was successful as well. Okay, so with that now done, we've got 3 more turns to go. I think we need to do the same again, so do a signal return test into sampling. That'll give us the 6, and then we just need to do another 2. Yeah. Got 1 power left over if anything goes wrong. So confirm commands. Shouldn't if you go wrong, we've got 90% efficiency, so that should be very good. So signal test was returned success. So we've got comms, now let's do sampling. Is it going to be positive? Yes. So what bonus do we get for this? Perfect focus. The camera's focusing apparatus found its target quickly, allowing more images to be captured at high quality. This command would generate an additional 1 data. Very nice, accept. Now that's going to help in the next mission, so I believe we need to recharge the battery and do a ground control connection, which will give us the 6 and the 2 for the reward bonus, and we've still got 2 power left over if anything goes wrong. Okay, so it's done the test. So it's connected, no problem at all. So ground control connection was done properly, and we should have mission success. Job done. And we now complete the milestone for Animal in Space. And we gain an additional 263 mission reward and 1032 for science for the next 2 months. Okay, so active missions, we're now ready to start looking at that launch. But I think on that note, guys, thank you very much for watching episode 2 of my Japan's Let's Play. There will be many more episodes to come, and if you liked the video, please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next episode of Mars Horizon.